Have you ever wondered what it takes to become one of the greatest fighters the world has ever seen? Today, I want to share the incredible story of Jon Jones, a man whose life has been filled with unbelievable victories, painful mistakes, heartbreaking setbacks, and inspiring comebacks. This isn't just the story of a champion. It's the story of someone who constantly battled not only the toughest fighters on earth but also his own inner demons. Jon Jones was born on July 19, 1987, in Rochester, New York. From the very beginning, sports were part of his life. His father was a pastor who believed in discipline, faith, and hard work. Jon grew up alongside his brothers, Arthur and Chandler, who would later become successful NFL players. Athletic talent clearly ran in the family. But life wasn't always easy. When Jon was just a child, his older sister Carmen passed away after battling brain cancer. She was only 18 years old. Losing someone so close at such a young age left a deep scar on Jon's heart. Years later, he would say that every achievement in his career was dedicated to her memory. That heartbreaking loss became one of the biggest motivations in his life. During high school, Jon discovered wrestling, and everything changed. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest athlete, but he worked harder than almost everyone around him. His determination helped him become a state wrestling champion. That success earned him opportunities to continue wrestling in college. However, life had another surprise waiting for him. When Jon learned he was about to become a father, he knew he had to make a difficult decision. He left college because he wanted to provide for his growing family. It was a scary moment. He had no guarantee of success and no clear path ahead. But instead of giving up, he decided to chase a dream that seemed almost impossible, becoming a professional mixed martial artist. Jon began training in MMA with very little experience. Most fighters spend years learning different martial arts before stepping into a cage. Jon didn't have that luxury. Yet his natural talent was impossible to ignore. His long reach, incredible athleticism, wrestling skills, and fearless attitude made him different from everyone else. In 2008, after only a handful of professional fights, Jon signed with the UFC. The world had no idea what was coming. Fans immediately noticed that Jon wasn't like other fighters. He threw spinning elbows, creative kicks, unpredictable strikes, and wrestling techniques that seemed impossible to stop. Every fight looked like a masterclass. Then, in 2011, at just 23 years old, Jon Jones defeated Mauricio Shogun Rua to become the youngest UFC champion in history. It was a historic moment. Many people believed they were watching the birth of the greatest fighter ever. Over the next several years, Jon defended his championship against some of the toughest names in UFC history. Legends like Quinton, Rampage, Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Alexander Gustafsson, Daniel Cormier, and many others all tried to take his title. One after another, they failed. Jon wasn't just winning, he was dominating. His fight IQ seemed almost supernatural. He adapted to every opponent, stayed calm under pressure, and always found ways to win. Fans and analysts began calling him the most complete mixed martial artist the sport had ever seen. But while Jon looked unbeatable inside the octagon, his personal life was becoming increasingly difficult. Outside the cage, he made several poor decisions that shocked fans around the world. Legal troubles, suspensions, and failed drug tests threatened to destroy everything he had worked so hard to build. Many people believed his career was over. Some called him the greatest waste of talent in sports history. Others refused to support him anymore. For the first time in his life, Jon wasn't fighting another athlete. He was fighting himself. These were painful years. Every headline seemed to focus on controversy instead of his accomplishments. His legacy was questioned. His reputation was damaged. It seemed as if the man who had conquered every opponent inside the cage couldn't escape the battles in his own life. Yet champions are often defined not only by their victories but also by how they respond to failure. Jon refused to disappear. He continued training, learning, and searching for another opportunity. Years later, after taking time away from competition, Jon made one of the most anticipated returns in UFC history. Instead of returning to light heavyweight, he decided to challenge himself by moving up to the heavyweight division, a division filled with larger, stronger, and more powerful fighters. Many experts doubted him. They wondered whether his speed and technique would be enough against the biggest men in the UFC. Jon answered those questions in spectacular fashion. In 2023, he defeated Cyril Gane in the very first round to become the UFC heavyweight champion. After years of setbacks, criticism, and uncertainty, Jon had once again reached the top of the mountain. It was more than winning another belt. It was redemption. His journey reminded millions of people that success is never a straight line. Even the greatest champions experience failure, disappointment, and moments when everything seems lost. Today, Jon Jones remains one of the most accomplished fighters in MMA history. His list of victories is almost unmatched, and many experts consider him the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. But perhaps the most powerful lesson from Jon's story isn't about championships or trophies. It's about being human. His life teaches us that talent alone isn't enough. Discipline matters. Character matters. The decisions we make outside our careers can be just as important as the achievements we earn within them. Jon Jones' story is inspiring because it isn't perfect. It's real. It's a story filled with incredible highs, painful lows, unforgettable victories, heartbreaking mistakes, and relentless determination to keep moving forward. No matter what challenges you're facing today, remember this: one mistake doesn't have to define your future. One setback doesn't have to end your dream. As long as you're willing to learn, grow, and keep fighting, there's always another chapter waiting to be written. Jon Jones proved that champions aren't people who never fall. They're people who find the strength to stand back up. And that's what makes his life journey truly extraordinary.